Hello friends, myself Dr. Nandakumar Rao Bawale from College of Engineering Ambazogai is going to deal with intellectual property rights. This is my first lecture on intellectual property rights. In the introductory lecture, we have discussed about the detailed syllabus prescribed by Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University, Lonere. Today, we will be discussing about the kinds of properties, classification of property in detail, and the definition of each and every property. As already we know what a property is. When we pronounce the term property, then we start to imagine about the properties such as building, land, or a vehicle or ornaments. So, what exactly this property means? Property is nothing but the bundle of rights given to the owner of a property, offered to the owner of property, and these rights or privileges which are given to a owner are to enjoy the property effectively without disturbance of others. The privileges which are given to a person against a thing or any entity is dignified with the label of property. The properties have to be enjoyed always. There shall not be any property which does not have a owner. There may be an individual owner, or the government will be the owner of that property, but the concept of property is there will be right against that property to some individual or to the government. Coming to the rights, the traditional principles of property are: if there is a property, for that property there will be control over the use of property to the owner of that property. It is one kind of right offered to the owner of property. He has control over the use of property. He may use it, he may consume it, or he may dispose it or transfer that property. The right to take any benefit from the property. The right offered to the owner of property is to allow him to take any benefit from the property without disturbing any other person of the society and without harming environmental norms. Staying within the limits of law, one can enjoy the property. Third one is a right to transfer or sell the property. Owner of property has got right to transfer it to the person, to whoever maybe he wants to transfer, or the person may sell his own property to somebody else, to whomever he wants to sell. No one can interfere in his rights of transfer and sell the property. Next comes a right to exclude others from the property. It is the right of owner that owner can exclude other persons from interfering into his property, disturbing his enjoyment, or transferring rights offered to the owner, or any other person cannot interfere in the use of his own property. Coming to the kinds of property or types of property, so here we can see classification of property in detail. As now we know what a property is. First, property is classified into two categories: a private property and a public property. What is this private property and public property? That we will be discussing in detail. First classification is private property and public property. Then second type of classification. First classification depends on type of owner, whether he is an individual owner or it is a public owner or government is the owner. Second classification is depends on nature of property. Property, if it is a physical property, then we call such property as tangible property or corporeal property. Corporeal property and tangible property mean the same. Then intangible property or incorporeal property, the property which does not exist physically, is known as intangible property. Tangible property is again classified into two categories: movable property and immovable property. Movable property is one which can be moved from one place to the another place, whereas immovable property is one which cannot be moved from one place to another place. Intangible property is further classified in three categories: intellectual property, a right to reputation, and securities. Intellectual property is classified into 8 categories. Broadly, generally we classify it into 4 categories, but in some of the books it is classified into 8 categories. That is, patent, a invention can be registered and a patent can be granted. Copyright, a literary work or artistic work can be registered and protected against fraudulent use. Then next comes industrial design, the designs which are made in the industry, not a final product, but that design helps in producing final product, is industrial design. Then trade secrets, the formulas or the things which give particular quality of a product. Such concepts are known as trade secrets. Then trademark, trade means business, mark means business mark. It may be a logo of industry or logo of any business firm, that is called as a trademark. A goodwill, the goodwill is nothing but impression of a particular industry, particular company, or a person, or a, you can say, business organization developed in the mind of a customer. Trade dress and plant varieties. Plant varieties are nothing but the hybrid plants that are obtained by many agricultural agencies, and those yield to a particular quality of output or product. Such plant varieties are also registered. We'll discuss all these in detail. Now coming to the private property. Private property can be a tangible property or intangible property. Tangible property means it will be a physical object like land, building, or vehicle. Intangible things means the ideas, concepts, or inventions. Private property may be tangible or intangible. Private property may be owned by individual or a firm or corporation. That means A private property may be owned by a person. Person means a legal person. Legal person in the sense it may be human being, it may be an organization, it may be a society, it may be a trust, whatsoever it may be. The owners have exclusive and absolute legal rights against that property. If it is a private property, then the owners of that property have exclusive and absolute rights to deal with that property. A private property can be transferred to anyone by the owner's consent, subjected to the norms of law or rules and regulations for transfer of property. The private property may be a land, may be building, may be money, copyrights, patents. It can be tangible or intangible property. Then coming to the public property. Public property is the property that is not owned by any private individual or a company. If it is not owned by anyone, then it is a public property or it is a government property. Say for example, a road. It is not having a owner. That doesn't mean that does not have a owner. A road has got a owner in the form of government or a state. We call it as a state. Then next, coming to this another definition of public property, a property owned by government or one of its agencies or divisions. Property may be owned by government or may be by its agency or divisions. Such property is known as a public property. For example, we can see park, playgrounds, streets, sidewalks in the sense footpath, schools, library. Schools means government schools, library. Properties used by general public such as train, bus. So all these are the public properties over which general public has got rights to enjoy such property, staying within the limits of government rules. Now coming to the classification depending on physical existence, tangible property or corporeal property mean the same. What is tangible property? The property which can be touched physically or have a physical existence, a property having physical existence, or a real property or personal property which is in existence, such as building, land, vehicle. These properties can be seen, can be touched, can be handed over to others. Such properties are known as tangible properties or corporeal property. And depending on physical existence of property, we classify as tangible and intangible properties. So once again we can see the property which can be touched, that means it has got a physical existence, and the properties like land, building, vehicle, ornaments have got physical existence and can be handed over physically are known as tangible or corporeal property. Coming to the tangible property, this tangible property is again classified into two categories. One is movable property and second one is immovable property. What is movable property? The property that can be moved from one location to another location, which is not attached to something else or something like building or earth, and can be transferred easily without disturbing its original characteristics. Say for example, a vehicle can move from one location to another location, and still if it is moved from one location to another location, characteristics of vehicle are not going to change. Ornaments can be moved from one place to another place. Goods can be moved from one place to another place. If a vehicle moves from one place to another place, then also it remains vehicle only. So it will not change its characteristics. Then such property is known as a movable property. Coming to the immovable property, property that cannot be moved from one location to another location, and such properties are always attached with the ground except standing timber, grass and growing crops. Standing timber, grass and growing crops are not included in the immovable property, even though standing timber, grass and growing crops are attached with the earth, because those can be harvested and can be sold. So such things which can be harvested after particular duration and can be sold or can be moved from one place to other place are not included in the immovable property. So what are the examples of immovable property? Land, building are the examples of immovable property. Say for example, in a building, if there is a window that cannot be detached from building, then again window comes under immovable property. But the things which can be detached from the building are known as movable property. Say for example, you have fixed some attachments like hanger to hang the cloths, and that can be detached. A mirror, if it is attached on the wall, that can be taken out or can be fixed anywhere. So that mirror or hanger can be treated as a movable property. Only things which are permanently fixed and cannot be removed, and if we remove such things, the characteristic of that property are going to change, then such things are treated as a immovable property. So only concept is that the characteristic of property if are going to change by its movement, then it is immovable property. If characteristic is not going to change because of its movement, then such properties are treated as a movable properties. Coming to intangible or incorporeal property, the property which cannot be touched, as I told you, which cannot be touched, which do not have physical existence. A property does not have physical existence is known as intangible or incorporeal property. So brand of identity, for a particular industry it has got identity in the market. So that identity or brand has, which a company has got, is a intangible property or incorporeal property. The knowledge of a person or intellectual property are intangible property or incorporeal property, which cannot be seen, which cannot be touched, which cannot be transferred physically from one person to the other person. Such properties are intangible properties or incorporeal properties and known as intellectual properties. But out of these properties one can gain monetary benefits. Such properties are known as intangible property or incorporeal property. So this intangible property or incorporeal property is classified again into three categories. Intangible property is first classified into intellectual property. Intellectual property means the property which cannot be touched or which cannot be seen physically. Then right to reputation. A reputation of person is also treated as a intellectual property. Securities. Securities given by government are also treated as a intellectual property, government securities. Now what this intellectual property is? Intellectual property is that property which is created by human intelligence, skills, human skills, intelligence or knowledge or mental labor. There is a use of mind, brain, and a property is created and is mostly in the form intangible form. Intangible form means there is no physical existence, there is only idea, there is only concept, there may be a invention, there may be a literary work, a poet is going to write a poem, then such things are called as intellectual property, and such properties can be converted into corporeal form. Corporeal form in the sense you have your own design of a particular object. That design can be used to convert your design into a real object. So a concept or a design or a imagination which you have can be converted into physical objects. That means the intellectual property has got a characteristic that can be converted into physical object or a corporeal form or corporeal property. So what this intellectual property is? Intellectual property is a creation of man's intellect, human intellect, without assistance from physical objects. You have an idea. To have an idea, you need not to take help of any physical object. If you want to sing a song in a particular tone, you need not to have a help of particular physical object. So the intellectual property does not need assistance or help of any physical object, consisting a reproducible set of information. So today you are going to sing a song, same song you can sing tomorrow also. It has got a reproducibility. So examples are what is included in intellectual property. A music. Music has got its own rhythm, and that music will be played in a particular fashion, and that is included in intellectual property. Literary and artistic work. So a literature that you are going to write or artistic work, if you are going to create some art, painting say, or sculpture work, so such things which are included in intellectual property. You are going to write some story, some poem or some song, then that counts into the literary work. And if you are going to create any kind of painting or sculpture or designs, that are included in artistic work. Then invention. As an engineer, if you are going to invent some new thing or new machine, then that counts in the invention, and invention can be patented, and that invention is treated as a intellectual property. There may be a symbol. If you have your own business organization, or you may be an entrepreneur, then to have a proper marketing, to gain faith of customers, you will assign particular symbol, maybe a logo, to your industry. Just like Tata has got its own symbol, Hyundai has got its own symbol, then Godrej has got its symbol, Whirlpool has got its symbol. So those symbols we call as a logos of that company, and depending on that logo, it is going to gain goodwill of customers. Then names. Tata Motors, say for example, Tata Motors is a name of industry, so no other company can use that name Tata Motors. So such names are also treated as intellectual property. Then images and designs used in commercial and industrial field. So particular image or design which is produced, used in a commercial and industrial field, is also treated as a intellectual property. Then coming to first intellectual property, categories of intellectual property, patents. What is a patent? It is a license. Patent is a license, and that is offered to the inventor itself. You may ask, you may say that I am an inventor, I am going to invent, I have right, and why I need to have the license. So if you do not register your patent time, if you do not have license, then other people can misuse your invention, and they can start to produce their product on your invention and they can get monetary benefit, then you cannot restrict them from using your invention. So if you have a license, means others do not have license, and those who do not have license can be restricted from using that invention. So it is very necessary for a invention to be registered in the form of patent. Once you register your invention in the form of patent, then the government will issue you license to use your invention to only you, not to others. So now then it will be left to you. Then you may assign it to somebody else. Your license may be assigned to some industry to produce the product and sell in the market, and then you will get the royalty benefits in the form of monetary benefits. Now what this patent is, it is a protection assured by a state means government, to use the invention in monopoly. So there will be a monopoly, you will be the only person who will be producing product depending on that invention, or a person to whomever you are going to assign your invention, whoever is going to hire your invention can produce the product only with your consent, not without your consent. Then you will be earning monetary benefits from that invention. So here it is very much necessary for a inventor to register his patent in order to avoid or restrict others from using this invention whichever you have obtained. Then copyright. What is this copyright? A copyright is nothing but original creations which are protected from fraudulent use. It includes a literature, dramatic, musical, artistic work. If you have produced one film and there is a song which is in your film, and if you are going to register it under Copyright Act, then the songs which are included in your film cannot be used by other producers in their film. Otherwise your songs will be used in some other films and they will claim that the song is produced or created by them. So you have to protect your original creation from fraudulent use. Then it extends to computer program also. Copyright is extended to computer program. Computer program must have some novelty than other computer programs. You might have particular command which is developed by you, or particular logic which is not used by anyone else, and you are the first person using that logic. Then you can copyright that logic and you can get monetary benefit by registering copyright of that computer program. It may have a cinematograph, film, or sound recording. So sound recording is also one of the work which is included in copyright. Copyright is exclusive right of multiplying, commercially dealing with, making assignments. So once you register copyright, your work is protected from fraudulent use. But if you want to assign your work commercially to somebody else, then that person can produce copies of your work and can gain the material benefits, and simultaneously he will pay you against that benefit. So this copyright is recognized for a specified period, not for lifetime. So for a particular duration your work will be protected. After that particular duration your work will not be protected. We will be discussing what is the duration through which your work is protected under copyright law. Then industrial designs. What these industrial designs are? So if you have some idea in your mind and you are going to produce three-dimensional pattern or three-dimensional computer model, and that model can be used in order to produce physical objects in actual. then such models or such designs, maybe two-dimensional designs or maybe three-dimensional designs, are included in intellectual property. What is given here? Industrial design right is an intellectual property right that protects visual designs of the object. Visual designs of object means you may have a drawing or you may have a model of that, or you may have a pattern in casting. What you are going to study in case of casting, you are going to produce first pattern, so that pattern is also included in industrial design, and that are not purely utilitarian means that objects are not cannot be used in actual, but those are helping us to produce the final product. So there may be a two or three dimensional pattern, maybe a pattern or maybe a drawing used to produce the product, industrial commodity or handicraft. So if that model helps you to produce final product, that is treated as a industrial design and which helps us to produce final product. So that is included into the intellectual property. Then coming to trade secret, what this trade secret is, it may be a information which is not disclosed in the public and gives a particular quality of product. Trade secret means information having commercial value. It should have commercial value. Information if does not have commercial value, then it cannot be included into the trade secret, and not in public domain, which is not in public domain. Already it should not be known to public. If it is known to the public well in advance, then you cannot call it as a secret, because it is openly known to people and it is not a secret. And the trade secret must give a specific or a particular quality into the product. So we can say here a particular product, a goli vada pav is one of the example. They are going to have their own formulas or their own recipe to produce such kind of food. So we can see mama bachacha. Then we have many more new type of teas which are available in the market, or many products, Pizza Hut. So they have their own taste or their own quality, and those products have got particular methods of producing, and those methods are not disclosed into the market, and they have registered it as a trade secret. Afterwards, if it is known to somebody else, so that person cannot use that trade secret because it is registered. So it is undisclosed information. Trade secret is undisclosed information by any company, unit or industry that will be giving a particular quality and which is not known to the public in advance, and that can be registered and which must have a commercial value. If you have a trade secret and if it is not having any commercial value, then it cannot be treated as a trade secret. Then what is a trademark? Trade means business, mark means a logo or symbol. It is a mark or symbol or image, or it can be a sign by which goods of a trader or manufacturer or services of service provider are identified. So Tata has got his own logo, then Hyundai has got its own logo, Ashok Leyland has got its own logo. So those logos are known as mark or symbol, or maybe a image or a sign. Your signature can also be registered, by which the goods of trader means depending on logo. When you see the logo on a vehicle, then you will say that this is the vehicle from this manufacturer or trader. So service of service provider, Jio is providing you a service. So it's not going to provide any physical object, it is going to provide a service to the customers. So it has got its own logo. That logo is Jio. So this logo which they are having is nothing but logo of a service provider. So their service or their product or their goods is identified depending on their logo, symbol, image or sign, and that has created a goodwill in among the customers. So such logo or symbol is known as a trademark, and these trademarks are registered. If you see some trademark, above that trademark they are going to write R. So for example, here is the logo of Tata, and above this there will be R will be written. R will be written. So this R is nothing but indication that this trademark is registered. So this is this symbol which indicates this trademark is registered, and no other person can use this registered trademark to sell his product in the market under the name of Tata, because Tata has obtained his own goodwill. What is goodwill, that we will see. Now coming to next intellectual property is goodwill. So what this goodwill is, it is nothing but kind of reputation of a firm, industry, company, and that helps a person to earn additional profit in comparison with the normal profits earned by some other competitor in the same business available in the market. Say for example, what he says, it is the reputation of a firm which enables the firm to earn higher profits in comparison to normal profits earned by other firms in the same business. Now you can observe in the market there are many more service providers in telecom business: Airtel, Jio, then Vodafone. So all these are providing different kind of same kind of service in the market, but nowadays the Jio has got good reputation. Say for example, then Jio is getting more profit than other service providers. Why it is going to gain more profit than other service providers? Because it has obtained goodwill, good faith among the customers. Say for example, you are going to purchase a car by a particular manufacturer, say uh, uh, Maruti Suzuki has got goodwill in the market than Tata car. So same car, same cc or same capacity car by Maruti is costlier than, say for example, Tata. So why you are going to pay additional amount? That is for goodwill, that is faith obtained by Maruti Suzuki is more than the Tata. That's why you are going to purchase Maruti vehicles. You are going to prefer Maruti vehicles over the Tata vehicles. That means Maruti has obtained a goodwill. So that goodwill can also be encashed. Say for example, if one industry has obtained goodwill in the market and another industry is there in competition, then same product both are going to produce. So another industry which is not having goodwill and another one is having goodwill in the market, the factory or industry which is having goodwill will say that other industry to sell his unit to him, and he will purchase that industry by paying additional amount than actual valuation of that industry. So that additional valuation which is paid by a non goodwill industry to the industry having goodwill is nothing but the value of goodwill. So a good faith, goodwill will be in the market, and that's why he is going to earn more profit than the his competitor, which are in the same business in the market. Then trade dress. What this trade dress is? Trade dress is a legal term of art that generally refers to characteristics of visual aesthetic appearance of a product or its packing. So every product which we receive in the market has got a cover. That cover has got a particular design, particular appearance, and because of that it is going to attract customer, and that is uniformly maintained by that industry, and that packing is used. So that aesthetic look which adds value to that product and which attracts customers towards the product. So such products or such appearance is what we say is registered, and because of which the firm is able to attract customers, and such design or such aesthetic look is called as a trade dress. And if it is registered, no other industry can use such kind of design or similar appearance for their packagings or to their product. So trade dress is also included in the intellectual property. It is only visual or aesthetic or appearance of the product. So appearance of product also has got great ability to attract what you say customers, and will have good marketability. That's why such aesthetic can also be registered and is called as a trade dress under intellectual property. Then plant varieties. What these plant varieties are? Plant varieties, a breeder, a person, it is breeder's right, or plant variety rights are the rights to commercially use new variety of plant. So somebody is going to produce some hybrid variety of a plant, and then it has got a market value, or it produces good quality of output, then that plant variety which you have produced can be registered. So there is one example in Barsi for one of the fruit, what you call it as sitafal. So that is developed, and that they have got Kaspate. Somebody person known as Kaspate has produced his own variety for custard apple, and that variety has got a market value. Then he may register his plant varieties. I don't know whether he has registered or not, but he is having good product, good market for his variety. So what should be the content of plant varieties? It must be novel and distinct. It must be novel and distinct compared to other varieties. The variety must amongst others be novel and distinct. It must be a new, novel and different from others. For registration, evaluation of propagating material of variety is considered. So this can be registered if it is something different from other varieties and is having market value, and it is new in the market, then such varieties can also be registered. Then coming to the second category of intellectual property is right to reputation. What is right to reputation? So every person has got his own reputation, and always he is scared of loss or damage to his reputation. Everyone has a right to his or her own good name. Good name is nothing but reputation. Good name and reputation, and that good name or reputation is innate dignity. Innate dignity means the reputation obtained by birth, and always a person takes care of his own dignity. He wants to protect his dignity in the society, and that goes beyond our personal histories of success and failure. Our dignity is beyond our personal histories of personal success and securities and our ethical or unethical actions. So every person wants to protect his reputation, and that reputation has got very high value. If there is a reputation, then there will be value in the society, and if there is no reputation, then there will not be any value. So every person takes care to maintain his reputation, and reputation of a person is treated as a intellectual property, and that intellectual property can also be registered, or if you even you do not register, then also your reputation has to be protected. No other person has got a license or rights to destroy your reputation. So if somebody abuses you in the public place, then you can file a case against him for defamation, and then he will be punished or he will be penalized as per the law. That means your reputation is also treated as your property. So here reputation can also be protected. Then one more is left, that is securities, the government securities. Sometimes the securities which are given by government are also considered as tangible properties or corporeal properties. In some of the cases, securities obtained are also treated as intellectual properties, but there is a contradiction whether the securities are to be included into the intellectual properties or to be included into the corporeal or tangible properties. So with this, I hope I have explained well about classification of properties and the definition of various properties. In next class we will be starting with intellectual properties in detail, one by one.